I just think they found their identity, New York has. And I think there was a stretch in that second quarter where they really blew the game up. What we showed the Anunoby dunk, where good defense turns into really good offense here.
And Bobby, that's a great point. When you say they found their identity, like it takes time. They got a new coach. It does. And the thing I got to give a lot of praise to when it comes to Mike Brown.
The New York Knicks team just sent a message to the whole NBA. The message is loud and easy to hear. They won a game by 16 points in the NBA Cup. They have won 8 games and only lost 2 games in their last 10 games.
Brunson penetrates and scores.
They are at the top of the Atlantic Division. They are the second best team in the East, and they have won 13 games at home and lost only 1. But what if I told you, it is not just the wins. It is how they are winning that changes everything. Get ready, because this Knicks team is not just playing well. They might be real champions. The Knicks earned their spot to the NBA Cup semifinals games in Las Vegas. They won the game 117-101 against the Toronto Raptors. This was their 8th win in the last 10 games. After playing so well, the numbers show it is true. New York now has the 3rd best scoring rating in the league, with 122.7 points for every 100 possessions. Only Denver and Houston are better. They are also tied for the 10th best defense. A team with a top 5 offense and a top 10 defense is usually ready to go far in the playoffs. But let us not get too excited yet. For now, their wins are starting to look the same, and it all starts with Jalen Brunson. In Toronto, he set the tone right away. He scored 20 points of his total 35 points in the first part of the game. That fast scoring was very important. This was true because Karl Anthony Towns was stuck on the bench for too many fouls, and Brandon Ingram scored 17 points early for the home team. From there, the Knicks changed the game with their defense. They only allowed the Raptors to score 13 points in the second part and won the game easily with a 21-point lead. This is very different from how New York started the season, when they won only 3 and lost 6 games when playing away. Earlier this year, only their skill kept them playing well. But now they are finally looking like the team people thought could reach the NBA Finals. Towns came back after missing 1 game and scored 14 points and got 16 rebounds. Josh Hart kept playing very well since he started playing in the main lineup again. Hart made 4 out of 7 3-point shots and ended the game with 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. The Raptors' plan to put tall players on Hart and dare him to shoot did not work at all. Hart has been shooting better than 40% from far away since he became a starter on November 24th. After the win, the main coach, Mike Brown, kept things simple. He said, "I know this sounds strange, but we still have a lot of room to get better on both sides of the court. We can be a very high-level defensive team." This is a big step for New York. The Knicks were knocked out in the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup in the last 2 seasons. Now they will play the Orlando Magic and their new enemy Desmond Bane for the second time in 1 week. There is already tension between them. In their last game, an angry Bane threw the ball at OG Anunoby after the referee made no call. The Knicks won 106-100, and the league fined Bane $35,000 for that angry action. Now the risks are higher.
Anunoby inside. Oh, what a play from Blake. Oh, and Bane throws it off Anunoby. Anunoby shoves Bane.
This is one of those special important games for New York before the playoffs. They know the Magic team as well as any team in the East. And with extra time to study just one opponent, this will look and feel like a playoff series. They will need to match Orlando's strong physical play. This is something the Knicks finally managed to do in their last game against the Magic to end their losing streak against them. And if the win over the Raptors shows anything, Knicks fans should feel very good about their chances. For one, Jalen Brunson is still playing great. He scored 35 points to lead New York past Toronto, because of course he did. Brunson spent all of last season winning games for the Knicks at the end. He won the NBA's Best Clutch Player award by carrying the Knicks through tough moments night after night against defenders who were usually taller and often much heavier. He was clearly the best clutch scorer. But this year, Brunson has changed how he plays. He does not need to score a lot of points at the very end of the game anymore. Not because he cannot. He definitely can. But because he is beating teams long before the last quarter even starts. Tuesday's win over the Raptors was the clearest example yet. Brunson scored 35 points, with 20 coming in the first quarter alone. He is scoring 10.6 points in the first quarter this season. The only player scoring more than him is Luka Doncic, and it was not like the Knicks started playing well as a team. Their defense was not good at the start of the game, letting the Raptors score 39 points in the first quarter. Normally, that means they will lose, but Brunson kept them in the game just by making shots. All 20 of his first quarter points came from jump shots, pull-up three-pointers in front of defenders' faces, and that special move where he drives and steps back for a mid-range shot that nobody has figured out how to stop. There was a time late in the quarter when you had to wonder if the NBA's scoring record was in danger, even as a joke. It felt like that kind of night. The type of night that makes great scorers famous forever. Head coach Mike Brown knew exactly what he saw. He saved us on offense in that first quarter. We were able to score with them or stay close, because Jalen had a big first quarter. That is who he is. When you talk about the best player in the league. And yet when you ask Brunson about any of this, he stays humble. He acts like none of it is a big deal. But under that calm way of talking is someone who looks at the game like a killer. You can truly say that Brunson is the best scorer in basketball for his size. He can score from 3 levels, he is creative with the ball, he makes easy spot-up shots, and he gets to the free throw line. Even though he is 6 feet 2 inches tall and is not super fast or jumpy, he still gets to where he wants to go. He does it with his footwork. Mike Brown openly compares it to Kobe. And he can shoot while being balanced on 2 feet, which keeps him controlled and impossible to rush.
Hepburn seeing his second action of the season. Brunson again on a burner.
After the loss, the Raptors' main coach, Darko Rajakovic, quickly praised Jalen. He put Brunson in the same group as Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic. These are players who play at their own speed, and you just cannot make them hurry up. They are not the fastest or the strongest, but their skill and smartness are unbelievable. The Knicks want to get to a point where they do not need Brunson to save them with big scoring like that first quarter in Toronto. And that is a good goal to have. But sometimes, letting him torture the other team for 30 minutes is simply the smartest way to win. While Jalen Brunson's big scoring in the first quarter got all the news, Josh Hart quietly gave one of the best overall performances of the night. Hart scored 21 points on 8 out of 11 shots, including 4 out of 7 from far away. Plus, he had 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. It was the kind of all-around effort that people might miss. Except this time, it absolutely did not go unnoticed. Mike Brown gave credit to Brunson's 20-point start for keeping New York in the game during that fast scoring from Toronto. But once the game settled down, that is when Hart took over. He scored 7 points in the first quarter. Then, after a quieter second part, he punished the Raptors for always sending extra defenders towards Brunson. Hart made 3 out of 4 shots in the third quarter, including 2 out of 3 from deep. This helped the Knicks keep control every time Toronto tried to catch up. Brown gave credit to the players on the floor for finding Hart when the defense moved towards Brunson, but he made it clear that Hart deserves praise for always making those open shots. The relationship between Hart and his first-year main coach has been changing and growing. Hart started the season hurt and played from the bench early on, as Brown tried out different player groups. But once OG Anunoby got hurt, the staff pushed for Hart to start playing in the main lineup, and it has been a perfect match. The game in Toronto was Hart's 9th straight start, and he scored 10 or more points in 7 of those games. New York has won 8 and lost 1 game during that time. As Brown learns more about his players, Hart is becoming one of the players who makes everything simpler. Brown even compared him to a past Finals MVP winner. He reminds me of Andre Iguodala. If you do not really understand basketball, it is hard to appreciate their game. Sometimes you look and think he is not really this or that, but it is the opposite. They can do everything. Josh can do everything. Josh Hart's impact is very clear. He is the kind of player who connects things and keeps winning teams stable. But the Knicks do not just have one of those guys. They have a whole group of wing players built on being good at many things, defending well, and doing the hard work that does not always make the news. And that is where OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges take things to another level. Let us start with this. OG and Bridges are 2 of the best experienced players in the league who still have not been all-stars. Both have scored in the high teens across many seasons, and both have a long history as elite wing defenders. Team success is key. Each has played major roles on winning teams for most of their careers. And with the Knicks winning 17 and losing 7 games, having the second best score in the East, there is a real reason to say that this team deserves more than one All-Star, besides Jalen Brunson. You can even argue that Bridges has been New York's second best player so far. And before his injury, the same was true for Anunoby. The duo known as Wingstop might not have big scoring numbers that usually get national attention, but anyone watching every night knows how hard it would be to find 12 players in the East who deserve it more if they keep playing this well. The talk about Bridges almost always starts the same way. The NBA's Iron Man still has not missed a single game in his whole professional career. This is not even the highest scoring season he has had, scoring just under 17 points per game. But he is quietly getting career-high numbers in rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. He is also on pace for one of his best years in shooting from the field and from three. In Mike Brown's system, he has clearly improved as a playmaker, and defensively, he has been amazing. Bridges is near the top of the league in steals and blocks. He often guards the toughest outside player and jumps to catch passes like a football safety. And through 24 games, he is just doing everything that leads to winning. His scoring will always be limited next to two main scorers like Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. That is the truth. But when it comes to all defensive team talks, Bridges should already be considered for the first team. Anunoby's year has not looked quite as strong only because he missed 2 weeks with a leg injury. But there is plenty of time for him to make everyone forget about that. Before he got hurt, there was no real argument. Anunoby was New York's second most effective player. The score sheet will not show it clearly, but anyone watching the Knicks closely knows exactly how important he has been. His shooting has been very good, the best in his career. He is scoring 15.7 points, and his 60.4% true shooting percentage will be the second best score he has ever posted, considering how much he is shooting now. Defensively, Anunoby's impact speaks for itself. It is honestly strange that he has only been chosen for one all-defensive team. Both before and after the injury, he has been a big problem in Mike Brown's defensive plans. He jumps into open spaces, closes the distance, takes the ball from the player, and instantly makes the Knicks look more dangerous the moment he steps onto the floor. Players like Anunoby, Bridges, and Josh Hart do not always have great scoring nights or amazing highlight plays, but they do almost everything else. And that is why players like Anunoby, Bridges, and Josh Hart get missed when people stare at the score sheets instead of actually watching the game. But if the Knicks continue to play at this level, that will not last. With Brunson and Towns doing the main scoring and Wingstop plus Hart doing everything else, New York has the plan for one of the most dangerous five-player lineups in the whole league. But this level of success was not always guaranteed. When the Knicks leaders surprised the league last summer by firing the team's most successful main coach of this century right after reaching their first Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years, it was clear they were looking for something different. Wins mattered, of course. But the more important goal was teamwork. That word kept coming up as they looked for the next leader of the locker room, and once Mike Brown met with the people in charge, it became clear he was that guy. Someone not just open to ideas, but wanting them. Not just from the office leaders, but from his staff and from his players. Brown still makes the final call on everything that happens on the court, but he has built a place where everyone can share their ideas. When he arrived, he broke down the old offense and defense plans and replaced them with his own ideas. But as the season went on, he started changing things based on what his coaches and even his players suggested. During games, he gives his players freedom to suggest other ways to play, to point out changes they see right then. And that willingness to share the leadership has built trust quickly. Assistant coaches have real power. Players feel comfortable bringing him ideas. The office leaders see their ideas working on the court. But maybe the thing that players like the most, Brown is not afraid to tell them when he is wrong. That humility, that responsibility is as much a part of the teamwork as the plays. Put real talent together with a coach who really gives power to his guys, and suddenly everything starts to work well. And that is exactly what we are seeing happen in New York right now. This is not just a fun winning streak, it is a new definition. The Knicks are no longer that team that fights hard and depends on last-minute heroics. They are deeper, smarter, and hungrier. And this streak, this NBA Cup run, changes everything about who they are, how confident they are, and their future. Do you think this version of the Knicks can make a real run in the East? Could they even win the NBA Cup? And as a fan, do you get excited by the NBA Cup, or do you just think of them as normal season games? Let me know in the comments. And if you are feeling this Knicks energy, like the video and subscribe for more NBA talks.